IBM Most Asked Coding Question. IBM Cic/ASE. Previous coding questions. Question. Given an integer, n, determine the following. 1. How many 1 bits are in its binary representation? 2. The number n's binary representation has k significant bits indexed from 1 to k. What are the respective positions of each 1 bit in ascending order? For example, the diagram below depicts this information for the value n equals 37. Binary representation of 37, binary 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. Location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Question. Given a set of distinct measurements taken at different times, find the minimum possible difference between any two measurements. Print all pairs of measurements that have this minimum difference in ascending order, with the pair's elements ordered ascending, e.g., if a B, the pair is a B. The values should have a single space between them. Example measurements equals -1, 3, 6, -5, 0. The minimum absolute difference is 3, and the pairs with that difference are 3, 6, and 0, 3. When printing element pairs ij, they should be ordered ascending first by I, then by j. 0, 3, 3, 6. Question. A product manager has to organize n meetings with different people. Meeting with each person results in an increase or decrease in the effectiveness index of the manager. The manager wants to organize the meetings such that the index remains positive for as many meetings as possible. Find the maximum number of meetings for which the effectiveness index is positive. The index at the beginning is 0. Note: after the meetings begin, the index must remain above 0 to be positive. Example n equals 4. Effectiveness equals 1, -20, 3, -2. One optimal meeting order is 3, -2, 1, -20. The index is positive for the first 3 meetings, after which it is 3-2 plus 1 equals 1. So, the answer is 3. There is no way to have 4 meetings with a positive index. Function description: complete the function max meetings in the editor. Max meetings has the following parameter: int effectiveness an, the increase or decrease effectiveness for each meeting. Question. A particular text encrypting scheme encrypts a message by using a key phrase. The key phrase has the same number of words as the message to be encrypted. The message is divided into words, and each word is encrypted using a corresponding word in the key phrase. The rule for encrypting each word of the message depends on the word from the key phrase that is used to encrypt it. The same key phrase is used to decrypt an encrypted message. Question. Euclidean distance between two points in a 2D space is defined as x2, x1, whole square plus y2 sus y1, whole square, where x1, y1 are the coordinates of one point, x2, y2 are the coordinates of the other point, and d is the distance between x1, y1, and x2, y2. The mode in mathematics y statics refers to most frequently occurring element in a collection of elements, e.g., in a Euclidean distance between two points in a 2D space is defined as x2, x1, whole square plus y2 minus y1, whole square, where x1, y1 are the coordinates of one point, x2, y2 are the coordinates of the other point, and d is the distance between x1, y1, and x2, y2. The mode in mathematics statics refers to most frequently occurring element in a collection of elements, e.g., in a collection of numbers 5, 8, 4, 2, 3, 3, 8, 3, 1, 3. The mode is 3, 3, as the number 3 appeared most number of times, 4 times, in the collection. The goal is to first calculate the Euclidean distances between two given points, provided as a list of xy coordinates, and finally find the mode of this distance list and return the value. Question. Candidate X has an interview today for which he has to reach the venue at a specific time. Early in the morning, X sets his watch to the correct time so that he can reach the venue on time. But, unknown to X, the watch is a faulty one, and it gains a few seconds every 5 minutes. However, X follows the time shown on this watch and reaches the location at the time that he thinks is correct. At the reception, he is told that he is early by certain minutes. Write a program to find the time when X reaches the interview venue, where the inputs to the program would be 1. The time at which the watch was set correctly in the morning. 2. The number of seconds gained by the watch every 5 minutes. 3. By how many minutes X reached early. Question. Network team has different types of switches, and they use specific type of switches in the distribution point, in data center, in hubs, etc. Each switch has a model number and port. Based on the model number and port, they will classify the switches as Type 1, Type 2, and core switches. Can we help them in the classification? Our aim is to get the model number and classify the switch as Type 1, Type 2, or core switch. Model number of the switch can be in one of the following format below, where X denotes an alphabet and N denotes a number. Question. An MMORPG game is under development. For the profile and inventory mechanics, it needs a query that calculates a list of game accounts whose inventory is overloaded with game items. The result should have the following columns: username, host, email; items, host, total, weight; username, account, username, email account, email address; items, total number of items in inventory; total weight of items in inventory. The result should be sorted in descending order by total weight, then in ascending order by username. Note: each item in the inventory has its own weight. Only accounts where the total weight of all items in the inventory exceeds the overload threshold should be included in the result. The overload threshold is 20. Question. Write a function to check whether a user is valid user or not. If user is valid user, then a welcome message should display with a token number. Token number will be generated based on first palindrome number of n digits. If the user is not valid user, then the function should display userid or password is not valid. PLS try again. All valid user ID and password should be stored in an array like below. User 1, pass 1, user 2, pass 2, user 3, pass 3, user 4, pass 4. Question. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, and ribonucleic acid are long molecules forming the genetics and is copied over the generations. One of the components of DNA, RNA, is a nucleotide which has nucleobases. 1. Cytosine, C, 2. Guanine, G, 3. Adenine, A, 4. Thymine, T, occurs in DNA only instead of uracil, U, 5. Uracil, U, occurs in RNA only instead of thymine, T. Combination of these nucleobases form a DNA-RNA. Consider this table for solving the problem below. Nucleobase CGAT binary value 001011101. Question. Odd, even transform problem works on an array of integers, both positive, negative, and 0, by taking in a value, a whole number, that specifies the number of times the transformation has to be applied. On an array of integers, the transformation that needs to occur, n number of times, adds 3 plus 3 to each odd integer, subtracts 3 from each even integer. Example, 3, 4, 9. 3 means the array with integers. 3, 4, 9 has to undergo transformation 3 times. 3, 4, 9, 6, 1, 0, 12. 3, 4, 9. What? 6, 1, 12. So the result is 6, 1, 12. Question. A video game developer is developing a game in which the character makes their way through several segments of a level. In each segment, if the character collects a coin, the player scores a point. However, if a segment does not contain a coin, the player loses a point. Player 1 always begins the level and, at some point, gameplay is turned over to Player 2 to complete the level. Player 1's goal is to achieve a higher score than Player 2 once the level is completed. Given the status of game segments, whether they contain a coin or not, determine the minimum number of segments Player 1 should play so that, in the end, their score is greater than Player 2's score. Example segments equals 1, 1, 0, 1. Player 1 has the following options. Play O segments. This would give them a score of 0. Player 2 would have a score of 3 minus 1 equals 2, because they gain a point for each of the 3 segments with a coin, and lose 1 point for the segment without a coin. Play 1 segment. This would give them a score of 1. Player 2 would have a score of 2-1 equals 1. Play 2 segments. This would give them a score of 2. Player 2 would have a score of 1 minus 1 equals 0. Only in this last case, by playing 2 segments, would player 1's score be greater than player 2's. Therefore, return the answer 2.